What's up, everybody? It's your favorite show, Get a Bucket. I'm your host, Trey, and as usual, hope you're all having a wonderful day. Today, we're going to talk about the Week 17 WNBA update. But before we do that, please make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, comment, tell anyone about the show. Trying to get the ratings up a little bit, just a little bit. And if you wonder where you heard this before, that's because you've been listening with me Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I greatly appreciate your support. Now, for those of y'all who are new, we're going to talk about the top 8 teams because those are the playoff teams, right? But then we're going to talk about a few other things on top of that too. So with that being said, let's round it out because y'all who've been here before, y'all know how this goes. So number 1, we got the Lynx. Number 2, the Valkyries. Number 3, the Aces. Number 4, the Dream. Number 5, the Fever. Number 6, the Liberty. Number 7, the Mystics. And number 8, the Wings. To be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen, these are probably going to be the playoff teams. I don't even care to mention any other squad. It's we've seen enough teams be eliminated already. So like right now, point in time, I think it's fair to say, y'all know the 3 teams that were in the playoffs last week. We got 4 new teams now. It being the Dream, the Fever, the Liberty, and the Mystics. They all secured a playoff spot. The Wings are the only team that have not secured it, but to be clear, they should be clearing securing their playoff spot very soon. Now, for the Lynx, real quick, just because they're number 1, right? I do wonder because probably the next time we're going to give like a major update is playoffs. I mean, the rest of the way is going to be easy, right? So the Lynx, obviously, like I said, the number 1. When they go up against a team with a good big, it is a little tricky. Now, keep in mind they got a bunch of forwards on their squad for sure. That's going to be a little tough. Their strength of schedule remaining is like the 3rd toughest, though. So I am curious what comes up of that, right? Like they just played the Valkyries recently. They lost the second game, even though they won the first game. But it was a pretty spectacular game, right? Made me wonder, actually, do the Lynx, in fact, have the top WNBA duo? And they got a couple people to choose from, but it's obviously Nefisa Collier. And could it be Olivia Miles, the rookie? That may be the top duo that we have in the WNBA. But let's talk about it, though, because we still got to talk about the Valkyries, right? The Valkyries. What I noticed, well, kind of throughout this whole season, but recently specifically, their defense is elite. I watched them play against the Lynx. They had a chip on their shoulder this second game, but keep in mind, the way they looked, like I started getting 04 Detroit Pistons vibes. Could they, in fact, win with the characters they got on their team? And it's starting to look like there's a world where they can win. I'm starting to buy a little more stock in the Valkyries this season. Don't get me wrong, they're not my favorite, but they have won me over in saying we can consider them like at least a playoff contender. At least, meaning they're going to go to the playoffs. I can see them getting to the second round too, ladies and gentlemen. And with the 4th easiest remaining strength of schedule, I don't expect them to really drop in the seedings too much. So they did what they needed to do. The last time we talked about strength of schedule, they didn't drop. So I expect them to remain a 2 seed going into playoffs. That's pretty spectacular. And Gabby Williams is the star that I expected her to be. Again, quality performer. Like they have a good team, man. Even Burton on the squad is pretty smooth as a point guard. Like when we talk about Olivia Miles, Paige Beckers, Caitlin Clark, we got to put Veronica Burton in there. She's one of the top guards under 25, ladies and gentlemen. And if you haven't watched her, she does it on both ends of the flow. But again, Valkyries number 2, they look pretty good. Aces, listen, they actually tied for the biggest rise this week. Last week they were 4th. This week they're 3rd. I actually wonder, do they have the top WNBA duo in Asia and Jackie? I could have said Chelsea Gray too, keep in mind, but Asia Wilson and Jackie Young, those are 2 WNBA MVP caliber players. All WNBA caliber players, ladies and gentlemen. And it sucks because Jackie doesn't get enough credit that she should because of Asia, because of Chelsea. Like they have good players on their team, but Jackie stands out. And it makes me wonder, should this actually be the WNBA top duo? Personally, I actually think so. This is my answer personally. But again, that's just me. And we already understand that they got a chip on their shoulder, or at least a target on their back on a consistent basis. So I just wanted to note that Aces top duo, Asia and Jackie Young, they're going to need them come playoff time for sure to be the stars that I'm talking about. So let's see what happens. Dream, they are also tied for the biggest rise this week. Again, I told you they secured a playoff spot. They were 5th last week. Now they're 4th. So it was really only like a 1 seed comeuppance, right? Angel Reese, we got to give a special love and support because I don't think that I've heard as much congratulations with Angel as I've heard with the Caitlin Clark, for example. Like, remember when Caitlin dropped, what was it, 45 and 10 in a game? While spectacular, while cool, and I ain't going to talk about the competition being nothing like that, 45 and 10 is still 45 and 10. We got to acknowledge that Angel Reese dropped 31 points and 14 rebounds and then followed it up with an 11-point game, 4-14. I hear you, but 26 or 7 rebounds? Like, that's kind of spectacular, bro. Like, that's really freaking good. That's close as hell to 30 rebounds. That's ridiculous. So again, when I'm looking at the Dream, Angel Reese, she's been having a pretty consistent season. Like, we got to actually ask who's the Dream's best player. They got Alicia Gray, they got Ryan Howard. Angel Reese has been the most consistent though. So I mean, is it safe? Is it fair to say that Angel Reese is the best player on the Dream? I don't know. I still gotta sleep on it a little bit more, but she's been playing like it. I gotta say that. So tip of the cap to the Dream, tip of the cap to Angel Reese. I want to make sure I gave her some love because again, going into playoffs, there's a couple things we gotta talk about. But let's continue it, shall we? So like we got the Fever. They had the biggest fall this week. They were third last week, and that kind of made Stephanie White bolstered her up into the Coach of the Year discussion. So a little bit more for me, right? They had a 5-game win streaks. And they had 2 losses right after them 5-game win streaks. So that's what kind of helped them go up, right? But they lost, like I said, 2 games recently. So that's what made them fall down. They've secured a playoff spot. They currently still have Kelsey Mitchell, whose 20-point game streak continues. Is at 23 currently, and that's a WNBA record, to be clear. They could have the top WNBA duo with Kelsey Mitchell. Question is, though, do we put Aaliyah Boston there or do we put Caitlin Clark there? Because I honestly, you could do either. If I want to have a stronger case, I may say Aaliyah Boston personally. But that's personally. I understand why people think Caitlin Clark because of the 20 points or 21 points and 8 assists. But sometimes we gloss over the efficiency and turnovers. But they have options to choose from too, ladies and gentlemen. Hell, who knows? In a couple seasons, we might be saying Aaliyah Boston and Caitlin Clark are the best WNBA duo. So again, I'm looking at this offense, or at least this Fever team. Offensively, they could have the best duo. They could. We gotta have that discussion though. That is a discussion to have for sure. But again, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Fever dropping right before playoffs starting to hit too. I'll be curious to see what happens. And they got the 5th toughest strength of schedule remaining. That's interesting to note, too. So do they continue to drop? Do they stay at that 5th seed? We're going to find out. Now, we got to talk about the Liberty because this is probably one of my favorite teams to watch right now. We got Leonie Fiebich who returned, ladies and gentlemen, okay? And this is part, and actually not even this is, I actually have been wondering for a little second now, should we classify Leonie Fiebich as part of the Liberty's top duo? Like, could Brianna Stewart and Leonie Fiebich be considered a WNBA top duo? And it's crazy to say that because they got Sabrina Ionescu. They got Jonquel Jones on the team. Jonquel Jones been playing some good basketball. Sabrina Ionescu been a little shaky this season for me personally, based on her based on her past standards, right? But she came into the season a little injured, trying to shake off some rust. I get it. You also got a new team to still figure stuff out with, and you've had injuries along the way, not just to yourself, but to other teammates as well, too. So I get her not looking the exact same, but I was thinking this kind of like last year too. So Leonie Fiebich is that integral into the team for the Liberty, and she's back. Hopefully she stays, because if she does, I'm liking the Liberty's chances a little bit more. And I'm talking about winning the whole thing, not just being good. I mean, like winning the whole thing. But we gotta wait to see what happens with Satu Sabale if she returns. She's not going to be playing in FIBA games coming up, so that is something to note. But Liberty, they could be back on track, and it's going to be good to see them going up against stiff competition. 2nd toughest strength of schedule remaining. I don't know. That could be interesting to watch. But yeah, I need them to get to the 2nd round for the playoffs. So let's see what happens with Liberty. The Mystics, ladies and gentlemen, I've talked all I can about the Mystics, actually. Shout out to Shakira Alston for having a phenomenal season, even though being snubbed from the All-Star list. Kiki Arieffin, Sonia Citron, y'all been playing some good basketball. Y'all got a good team, bro. And I'm surprised that people are surprised that y'all are in the playoffs. Like I said before the season started, I actually had them going 5th. Like I put them as high as 5th on my list because, again, I believe that much in the talent. And I'm happy that they're in the playoffs, ladies and gentlemen. So kudos to the Mystics. Thank y'all. And I'm gonna try to go watch a Mystics playoff game this season. Yeah, because I do like seeing the Mystics play personally. They give good basketball. So again, I just wanted to say give a kudos to the Mystics. And then also, ladies and gentlemen, let's just go ahead and say this. The Wings, right? For eighth seed. I told y'all they're gonna secure it. Here's the issue, right? There's no more AZ Fudd this season. She gone due to injury. So that's tough. I'm also curious what the Wings are going to do in the playoffs because they right now have the second easiest strength of schedule. So that does help you securing that playoff spot. But you're possibly going to go up against the number one seed in the Lynx. And like respectfully, I don't know if y'all got enough in the tank to get over the Lynx, especially without AZ Fudd. Like I said that statement with AZ Fudd. I'm still gonna want to watch Olivia Miles versus Paige Beckers. I want to see Shep and Alana go up against their former team just from last year. But ladies and gentlemen, Wings, I think they Wings could be a little clipped this playoff season. And again, keep in mind, I didn't think they were going to make the playoffs at the beginning of the season. I thought they could. Let me rephrase that. I thought they had a shot, but the listing that I gave, I didn't put them there. They might have been like 9th or 10th, one of those two teams. But again, though, who thought Jessica Shepard was going to come up the way she did, bro? That's why she's most improved player. I thought there was going to be a little turmoil. You got AZ, they're trying to usher in that new era, that new wave. I thought that's what's going. I didn't think they were going to be here. I didn't think they was going to be as high as 4 during the season for as long as they did. But they're playoff bound. So again, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I do got to say this. They are pretty good, and it's going to be a good first round exit to watch. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we gonna talk about playoffs right quick because I'm telling you right now, there's a couple playoff matches that I got to say this right quick because again, next time we probably do an update, it'll probably be basic. Like I'd go through these really quickly. So the playoff matchups, if they do happen, I just want to say this, please. I would rather see the Aces versus the Fever and the Dream versus the Liberty in the first round. Because right now we're looking at Liberty versus Aces, and I really wish we could save that to at least the second round. At least, man, please. Because in the second round, I'd rather see the Lynx versus the Liberty and the Valkyries versus the Aces. I think that could be a really smooth playoff. I really, truly do. So I really hope that this is accurate. I really do. I'll probably talk about some playoff team or players to follow up and really put eyes on, right? Next episode. But you know what? I'm gonna say this right now. I got at least 20 names. Now I'm gonna list off. So I'll talk about that at some point in time this week. You know what I'm saying? But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that is the Week 17 WNBA update. We didn't have too much change. The Fever was the biggest drop, right, in losing 2 seeds, 2 rankings. That's cool. But it's a little bit more basketball left. So I'll be curious to see what happens as the season winds down. We already know who the teams are. We just got to see what the seedings are going to be. And then after that, we can talk about the legitimate playoff matchups, which I've talked about a couple matchups already before. But I'm curious, ladies and gentlemen, what are your thoughts for this week's update? Is there a team that surprised you? Is there a team that you just really don't care about? Let me know your thoughts. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that does conclude the end of the episode. So please make sure to like, subscribe, comment, tell anyone who's anyone, 1, about the WNBA, and 2, about my show. My name is Trey. I'm the host of Get a Bucket. I hope you are all having a good one. Take care.